Hi, Fan Frenzy is where we're at. Fan Frenzy, that's right, the podcast where you guys take control of the conversation. We've got some rain in the background. Apologies for that sound. The studio is not dealing with the noise very well.
It's not rain friendly.
No, it's not. It's a problem that we're going to have to address at some stage. I think we need to build a sound booth. Now, we've got a quick apology off the top.
Yes. Let me find them really quickly, because I feel like we need to...
No, focus on your job at hand.
All right.
But we did have some people last week, unfortunately, for whatever reason, the platform hid your questions.
Yep.
We don't know why.
We don't know why we read them. They're not inappropriate. Sometimes we do that too.
Yeah, sometimes we get questions that are automatically hidden because of inappropriateness.
Yep,
these ones weren't part of that, so we don't know why.
No.
We completely apologise. I think Paige, Matt...
Yeah, so quick apologies to Simon Blackburn. Thanks, Simon. We're sorry. Chatted to him on DMs over the last weekend. Yes, it's in there. But thanks for your question, Simon. Hopefully you got one this week as well. Matthew Roberts, apologies to you. And same for you, Paige. But yeah, we're not quite sure why it was hidden. So we'll make conscious effort as we're going through Fan Frenzy. We'll keep an eye out on the hidden comments. There are none this week. We've actively been through them and seen there is no hidden comments. So hopefully, you guys have thrown one in there for us this week as well.
Anyway, let's start off. What have you got?
First one up straight off the bat is Jordan Pancras. Race ranking of 6. As much as there was some good action, once Max took the lead, I never actually doubted that he would keep it.
No.
3 to Russell, solely for his move to take the lead into turn 1, which was a terrific move.
Oh, yeah.
2,
I don't mind that.
2 to Lewis, a solid drive. And 1 to Zhou. It's an interesting one. An under-the-radar race splitting the Aston Martins.
Not bad.
Not bad
at all.
Not bad. I think it's the first time. No, I think we gave Zhou some points in China.
Maybe.
I think. But yeah, anyway. Dud of the day, RB for their upgrades, in air quotes.
Yep.
Hero of the hour, Checo. Rumour is he isn't driving a Red Bull, but an Alpine with a Red Bull livery. He managed to hang it out on both and beat Alpines. I like that. Tongue-in-cheek from George. Question. How do you feel about the home drivers being put in front of everybody during the anthem? Seems to be a regular thing now, and it's quite cheesy. You're right, Jordan. It's been going on for a couple of years now.
It's awkward
It's weird.
It is awkward.
I think it makes it easier for you when you've got a fellow countryman with you.
Yes.
Yep. So when you're there and you've got like we saw, Sainz and Alonso together.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be amazing if next year at Australia we had Doohan, we had Piastri, and we had Dan?
That would be amazing.
3 Aussies on the grid.
Yep.
We'll get to Silverstone and it'll be sort of the opposite way, won't it? I feel like one year we'll just have the entire grid at the front, because let's be honest, nearly 50% of it is British at the moment. And there'll be 1 or 2 at the back.
That's
but
true.
Yeah, awkward if you're there by yourself. So, I don't know. I don't mind it, Jordan. Like, it's okay. Do I need to highlight it? It doesn't detract from the racing. It doesn't really catch my attention. It's nice.
Could they add some ex-champs with them?
Nah, I don't think you need to overdo it that much. It's just a nice little nod that someone's thought of a nice little idea. It reminds me very much of your How Are They Sleeping segment. It's nice, but we don't really need it.
Nah, it's good.
Yeah.
Very good. I'll bring it back.
I've often floated the idea of new segments too.
You don't get them across the line.
I don't get them across the line.
No, you just need to sell them better.
I do need to sell them better.
Or just go with them.
I could. Maybe next week I'll just hijack the episode and just throw one in there.
I'm in.
All right, I'll do it. Nat Pollard, race ranking of 8.5. There was some really exciting moments. 3 to Lando. He really has the hunger to win now. Really, that's absolutely. I think we saw a bit of an angry, downbeat Lando. And there was some comments around that from fans on social media that he needs to sort of lighten up. But I can understand his frustration, because you never know when you are going to be at the pointy end of the field again. And if there's an opportunity to win, you got to take it.
You got to make the most,
because you may never ever be there again for the rest of your career. So I can understand his frustration. I'm okay with that. But yes, he really does have a hunger to win now, which we haven't seen before. 2 to Max. The car is not as dominant as it was, but his skills as a driver keep him on top 100%. And 1, George, mostly for his brilliant start. With a better tyre strategy, he would have been on the podium.
Okay.
Dud of the day, V-Carb, how'd those upgrades go for you?
Ooh, true.
Question. This is just a tech question for you. Is there any chance you can raise the level of my microphone in the mix?
My apologies.
Thanks, Nat.
It's a bit late now.
Obviously appreciates listening to me over you.
Interesting. My apologies.
There you go.
No, I agree, and I did actually speak to someone who, I don't know if our levels were right last week, so Yeah, apologies for the rain too while we're talking
Sorry,
about it.
thanks for having a preference over a snap. Appreciate that.
I'll just turn you up.
Are you just going to do it now?
Yep.
There you go.
I hope
So now she hasn't been able to hear her question, but now she can hear everyone else's.
There you go.
I think you've just dudded yourself for next week.
Go for it.
Next one is Sam. 3 points to Hamilton. Aside from the awkward moment in FP3, that was a really good weekend for him. 2 points to Norris. Would have been a top scorer except for the start and the fumble. But a solid race in terms of pace and patience. And 1 point to Piastri. It's an interesting 1-pointer. Good storm back through the field. I'm not sure it would be a storm back through the field.
Generous.
Gained a couple of places.
Generous, I would say.
Generous,
Is that cool?
yeah. Not sure about that one, but yeah.
Considering he said that he struggled throughout the weekend and it was his worst performance as a Formula 1 driver.
Interesting. Interesting. Dud of the day.
Night shift just doing you in a little bit, Sam?
Dud of the day. Pirelli tyre tester Perez for completing the most pit stops to still finish just ahead of two Alpines, who are F1.5 grade. Is Perez sandbagging the Red Bull or is Max flogging it? I don't think it would be in Checo's interest to sandbag anything. Really questioning this reality and what to honestly do with Perez. Yeah.
Not much to do
Not
now.
much at the moment. Question for F1.5. Ooh. Alpine double points finishing and Aston Martin starting to slump after Silverstone. Will I announce if Aston gets dragged into F1.5 or if Alpine crawls out of the pit of mediocrity?
What are you calling mediocrity?
Yeah.
Because they're not going up into the other level.
No.
And we're not. F1.5 ain't mediocrity.
No.
You owe an apology, Sam.
Yeah.
He's called your series
It's all right.
mediocre.
I appreciate fans getting involved in F1.5, but much
Now hit him.
much
Now go.
much like my Spotify playlist request, it's just not happening. Like you can suggest a song, but it's not getting airtime.
Don't you use the suggested songs?
No, like if you personally are sitting with me, like, hey, can I put this on? I'd be like, well, thanks for mentioning it, but no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I don't pay for premium.
Okay.
It wrecks my playlist.
I understand.
So no.
Right.
No.
There you
No.
go. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you, Sam. I appreciate you. I appreciate your thoughts.
And thank you for the opening question.
And thanks for the opening question. But no, not happening.
He's angry now.
I'm flat on that one.
Next one.
Shane Freer, race ranking of 8. Some great overtaking in racing, including for the lead. 3 to Max, took his chance early and then drove well. 2 to Gasly, solid. And 1 to Lando, fast driver, but let down by his start and his team's strategy. Left him out too long during the first stint. Special mention to Zhou. Did we miss Zhou on the weekend? Because nothing...
Where you Zhou?
Where are Zhou? Nothing jumped out at me that made me think he raced well across the weekend. I didn't pass comment to anyone Monday morning. Be like, hey, did you see the race on the weekend? How good was Zhou? No, not bad from where he was. Logan didn't think he hit anything all weekend. Actually, he did. He did. He hit the pole in the car park, as David Coulthard reported on Channel 4. I think it was Channel 4 that Coulthard reported that he found Logan's car and he hit. It was pressing against the pole.
Oh dear!
Brilliant. That would be one of the TV moments of the year in F1. Dud Sergio for saving Oscar from Dud of the Day title. Ooh, love Oscar. But when he and Lando were in clean air during first stint, Lando 0.5 to 1 second a lap faster, but in the end Sergio outdudded him. Seriously, Sergio has to go. Well, unfortunately, Shane, Sergio recently signed a contract with Red Bull for a 2-year extension, so he's not going anywhere. Yeah. Question, with engine penalties looming, is it plausible that Lando can win the title? I'm not aware of any engine penalties looming.
Max came out and said that it's likely he's going to have to cop some engine penalties because of what has happened to his engines. And so he hasn't had blow-ups during races, but he's had some issues throughout practices, and he's had a few bits and pieces that he can't use again. And
It could be my ignorance, but I could not name you a driver or a team this year so far in the season that has taken an engine penalty hit.
No,
Any
that's
sort.
That's not what he's suggesting.
No. Well, I feel like that they're looming. Like in years gone past, that we openly know that, hey, Friday I'm changing an engine. So you're getting 10.
No, Max has done a bit of that. So, but they've
could just
been
be
going through their allocation, and so the thing is, they're way ahead of where they wanted to be. And so they're going to have to be conservative from here. He expects he's going to cop some engine penalties at some stage through the season. If that was to happen, is Lando in the competition? Is he in the championship hunt? If Max, let's say Max copped 2 engine penalties throughout the rest of the year, is he in there? Is Lando in that hunt?
So 2 engine penalties. So at the
let's
moment,
say he loses 10 positions. He's still finishing 5th. And that's requiring Lando to win every race. It's just not happening.
he's 69 points ahead of Lando.
It's just not happening.
And Lando's only 2 points ahead of Charles. So I'm not quite. If we're going to inject Lando into that conversation, well, then you need to put Charles in there as well, because 2 points is nothing.
Yep.
2 points is nothing. 69 points is still.
Lando only became second in the championship this week.
That's exactly right. So, and if you're going to tick, if Max is going to start ticking wins off, I mean, he's still taking a 7. He's still taking a 7-point buffer every weekend. Like, do that for 5 more weekends. There's a whole race win plus more under your belt. So, yeah, I'd probably say no. Simon Leng, race ranking 7.5 out of 10. 3 to Lando, shame about his start, but the rest of the race and weekend was stellar. 2 to Max, another win, but he had to fight and pass for the lead. And 1 to Gasly, really putting on a good show in the Alpine, correct. Honourable mention, Russell's start did not see him leading after turn 1. Also, Russell versus Lando, that was epic. Yes, I totally agree with you, Simon.
Yeah.
That was fantastic racing, and to see both of them hanging it out around the outside through those multiple corners was terrific hard racing. So yeah, I couldn't agree more,
well done
Simon.
for the stewards for staying out of it. It was just good racing.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
Dud of the day. Tough one, he says, but settled on the TV director, cutting to helicopter views of overtakes when the chopper can't see the cars properly.
Oh, yeah.
And having to show a replay for people to see it for the first time. Very frustrating.
Yep.
Moan.
Ooh.
Why are we getting rid of these regulations? We've talked about this, Simon.
The petition.
This is going to be a little bit of a sore point, I think, for you for the rest of the season. That we're gonna hear it a bit more.
It
but
is
yes,
fantastic.
the racing is now fantastic. Couldn't agree more with you, Simon. Question: in prior seasons of dominance, Schumacher and number 2 driver seem to regularly finish behind the number 1. Is the Perez issue Perez, or does it reflect the wider talent pool of modern F1? Top 5 teams, not counting Stroll, all have world championships or world champion potential drivers. I don't recall that being a thing in years gone by. Yeah, that's.
So he's talking up the challengers rather than the fact that Red Bull haven't got the gun.
Yeah, you're right. In years gone by, we've had some good races, but there haven't been. So if we rattle through some names as potential world champions, so current world champions, we've got Max, we've got Lewis, we've got Fernando. So tick, tick, tick. Drivers with potential to be world champion, or one day, we could have a conversation saying, how about that world champion from Charles Leclerc? Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yep. Lando Norris?
Yep.
Oscar?
Yep.
Who else? George?
Russell.
George?
Gotta be.
Tick?
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. I think the top 4 teams are really strong at the moment in terms of their driver talent.
Yep.
And it doesn't take much for you to be kicked out at the moment of that top 8 or top 7 position.
Sainz could one day be a champion. Could Alex be a champion? I don't know. Gasly could.
But yeah, it doesn't take much for you to drop down the order because the talent's high.
That's very true.
Yep.
You're right. Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
It's a good take.
That's a good take, Simon. There is quite a hefty length of talent at the moment across the grid. Good one. Dean Holt, a rating of 7 out of 10. Entertaining race overall with a few good battles. Also, as a POM, it was great to see 3 Brits in the top 4.
Yeah, good call.
Did you know in F2 we have had 9 races with 9 different winners?
Did not.
There's a fact for you. 3 votes goes to Hamilton. Had a great race and nice to see him back on the podium. 2 to Norris. Excellent pole lap and a great recovery drive after a poor start. Also showed once again he's one of the best at tyre management. And 1 to Max. Good control over the race now the others have caught up. Best overtake. It has to be Norris on Russell.
I like it.
Dud. Ugh. Alpine for taking back Flav. after he cheated in Crashgate.
Ooh, that's a long memory.
Crashgate will forever be the stain on Flav's record.
One of the stains.
Forever.
Yep.
Also, the Benetton from 1994 had illegal traction control. The FIA said they couldn't prove it at the time, but in 2015, one of the engineers confirmed the team had developed a traction control system using spark cutting. They also took out a fuel valve, which made the refueling quicker, and that's what caused the refueling fire to Jos Verstappen.
There you go.
I guess my sort of response to that, Dean, is how about that time Ferrari ran their engines too high and we just swept that under the carpet?
Yeah, but all he's saying is Flav has got a dodgy record.
I reckon if you...
He's not talking about going through...
If you dug deep enough, there'd be a fair few dodgy records out there that we don't really know of. And that's what pushing the boundaries is all about in the sport. Hero of the hour, Adrian Newey, driving to the Red Bull HQ in his Ferrari last week. I didn't see that.
Did that really happen?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
I haven't seen that either. Outstanding. I like it.
Interesting. Here's a comment. Just regarding fantasy, I'm just letting you know that Chris is my brother, who I've tried to get into F1. I thought if he got involved with fantasy, he might find it more interesting, but he lost interest about 5 races ago, and hasn't changed his team for a while. I think maybe this might be a question that we've yes, that we've sorted out. Maybe we had a bit of a comment around it. Fantasy. Sorry, Dan, totally forgot that. Also, to answer your question from last time, if I did finish in the top 3, I'd probably go for a Hakkinen or Norris picture. Interesting. Yes,
Hakkinen, that'd be cool.
Hakkinen. Which picture? The flying fin photograph from the Nürburgring.
Oh, sorry, I thought you wanted him to go through...
but that's if I was going to get...
Dr. Auto art.
If I was going to get a Hakkinen photo, that would be an amazing piece of art. Like if you get Hakkinen, it's the flying fin, all 4 wheels to the Nürburgring. That's a very historic photo.
So did we miss that? Did we call Chris Dean and notice it was 2 Holtz?
Maybe
just
I'm not
assume
quite
they're the
sure.
same person. Yeah. Apologies for that, Dean.
Sorry, yeah. Question: with the pack seemingly getting closer, do you think it's a good idea for them to delay the new rule changes in 2027?
Yes.
Just yes, we do, or just scrap the new car aero changes, keep these cars and just change the engine regs? No. As normally a rule change, we end up getting one team dominating again. For a few years until the others catch up. Yes, we totally agree on that. We touched on that. So
I think the one thing I'm looking forward to is the change from DRS to Active Aero. I think it sounds intriguing. I think it makes sense.
I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as what...
No, well, Active Aero is...
I know.
I
know. I think...
So, Active Aero is going to be that you can change your aero moving through corners, and it's not so much there's a DRS zone. You can change your aero more regularly throughout the lap. And I think it sounds interesting. It just feels like it's going to apply to the greater world.
Well, I guess we've got examples of that Active Aero on
cars,
sports cars, such as I think the McLaren P1 has Active Aero.
No, there's quite a few.
Bugattis do as well.
But I think it's just an interesting change. But no, I'm with you. Let's delay it.
Yeah, and what have we got? X and Y mode as well.
Yeah,
I have to dig back into my notes about that. I made some extensive notes the other week when we talked about. We do need to have an episode on the regs as well. But yeah, we are.
Well, let's just wait for them to be.
We totally agree with you, Dean.
Interesting.
Adam Hughes, race ranking of 6 out of 10, 1 less than last week. Oh, Adam. I think
I am looking forward to.
I would love this week for our fans, our frequent listeners to Fan Frenzy. I want you to have a look at the comments this week and just cheer Adam up. Just cheer him up. Just jump in, have a look at what he puts in Fan Frenzy. Jump on. Hey, Adam, you okay, man? Formula One's good.
What are you looking for?
What are you looking forward to
in your Formula One at the moment, Adam? I'm interested.
Race ranking of 6 out of 10, 1 less than last week. Firstly, I would love to be on the show.
I'm keen.
No, we are. Sorry, you asked. I think you threw down a bit of a gauntlet to Adam last week. Does that remember?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how little I remember after we record.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Everyone notices.
That'd be good. Well, maybe we do need to get...
Oh, yeah, no. That's what prompted it. I did scroll through and had a look, and I was like, yeah, that sounds good.
All right,
I'm keen as.
Cool. All right, 3 to Max. Mr. 37% most winning driver in history. 61 wins and now has more GP wins than any other driver since 2016. Yes, correct. 2 to Gasly, another great drive, and 1 to DR. 18th to 15th? in the car that outraced Yuki again. I don't know, Adam. I think he's the most incorrect one vote that we have had all year long.
I'm a big DR man.
Dan is a long way off one vote.
Just
a long way.
I thought Dan drove fine.
Oh,
I thought he drove the race fine.
Couldn't disagree with both of you more.
The qualifying was no good.
Yes.
I thought the race was fine. The qualifying was no good, and I think it was mostly on RB. But yeah, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. But anyway, each to their own.
All right. Alpine engine saga. It's now been confirmed that Renault and Greeley have entered an agreement to build engines, and the new CO is called Horse. It's been mentioned that Greeley will now become a PU supplier using Renault IP, thus could throw Zhou a huge lifeline. So Alpine could be a customer to its own engines made by Greeley, and this has been reported by Ted on Sky Lewis F1. Interesting. I've seen a couple of comments around this. I know nothing about this.
No.
I need to go and do a little bit of research around this and what it looks like as well. There has been talks that they are actively looking at dumping Renault. I say dumping in inverted commas, but yeah, don't know. So sorry, Adam, and for those that are mentioning that, I have no knowledge of that, but I will go and do a little bit of research and reading over the week, and I'll come back to you on that and just what that looks like and what's entailed, and I'll probably be a bit more better equipped to answer your question. Dud of the day, Sky Sports. Thanks for tagging Sky Sports in our Facebook feed too, Adam. How cringe was the telecast? I think it's how cringe was the telecast over the weekend. Danica is useless. Damon is clueless. I like Damon. And even Bernie was bad this weekend. No, you cannot have a bad Bernie weekend. Everything Bernie says is gold, and you can't change my mind on that. I miss F1 TV. iRacing. I believe Max was doing 7.59 in his BMW GT3, and he was doing 8.58 in his GT4. So yes, I threw a bit of a question out to him.
Yeah.
Now, we will put this up, and thank you to Adam, because Adam has sent through in the DMs a shot of his livery, which includes our podcast logo on the bonnet. And I got that, Adam. Thank you. I went to reply to you, but for some reason, I cannot respond to you via Facebook.
People might be noticing our socials are in a bit of a disarray, but
they're having a bit of a moment. So thank you, Adam. I saw that. It looks brilliant. Yes, we will send a couple of photos through to you for that. But thank you so much for just doing that, because we didn't ask Adam to do that. We know he did that a couple of years ago on his real BMWs. He used to race as well. So Adam, mate, honestly, from us to you, thank you, because it looks awesome. I love your setup. I love your design. And yes, I will find some time to flick one through to you. And for those people listening, I will throw that up on the socials for you. And you can have a look at that too, because it's just cool. It's just cool that people just do that for us.
Absolutely.
Honestly, it's just cool. So thanks, Adam. I love it. It looks good. It looks great. So yeah, we'll get that up too.
We'll get together a bit of a schedule and we'll get some people on, I think.
We should. All right, Simon Blackburn. Thank you, Simon, for your question last week, and awesome to see it there. So a race ranking of 7.5 out of 10. Had me glued throughout, especially being a Lando McLaren fan. Some cool wheel-to-wheel bits, but drawn out enough to not be the best. Dud of the day, Perez. Oh, there's a real negative vibe on Perez this weekend. Did better, but ultimately finished so far off Max, it's embarrassing. 3 to Lando for the excellent pole, exceptional time management, shame about the start. 2 votes to Max for executing an excellent race while being challenged, and 1 to Gasly for a good quality and a decent finish in the points. A question, do you agree this track is the closest representation of car performance across the grid?
No. Not anymore.
Nah, not anymore. That's a good point. I think for probably, at the moment, Simon, it's a little bit of the outlier, that maybe it is just the closest of the field, and we're not seeing that anymore.
It used to be.
And it's that R&D progression.
It's been a few years since they've done all their work before season here, and I think a few people are sort of forgetting that. It used to be the benchmark.
Yeah.
And we do get used to it, and yes, the teams know all about it, but yeah, I'm not sure that it is. I think we'll see ebbs and flows across the season. Yeah, but no, it's I don't know. It's intriguing. It's intriguing.
No, I agree with you. You're right. Yeah, years gone by, yes, but at the moment, I think it's just, we're sort of really fortunate to be having such a close title and weekend battle that, Yeah, it's not really. There are tracks that are just not doing that for us at the moment. That we're just turning up and being treated. So yeah. Anyway, thank you, Simon. And again, thanks.
I think a lot of it just depends on where teams are at with their development and their progression in terms of where they're at.
Couldn't agree with you more.
So yeah, wonderful, very good. Thank you very much to everybody, and yeah, enjoy the race. We'll be back next week with more. Goodbye now.